Right, this is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India operating the worldwide net today. I just wish to welcome everybody on board. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone listening. Today we have a rather short net. We've had Mike come, G0MJW. He's at a rally today, and I don't see any of the other UK stations, so I'm sure they must be in the rally. And Ed hasn't made his presence known just yet, so it looks like it's going to be quite a short net. But anyway, so it goes. I did see a Charlie Mike 1, I think it was. Very nice signal earlier on 333 and on 250. So you're more than welcome to join us if you want to break in. Just want to see if Frank, DD0CW, he was on just now, but I haven't seen him. He hasn't replied if he wants to come on, because I'll put Frank first in the list. Anyway, today we have the following. We've got ZS1MM Leon. He'll just have a general chat, maybe tell us something about his radar that he's been playing with. Then we've got Tom, a ZR6 Tango Golf, who developed a very, very nice ride remote control program that you use with your Android phone. I've used it. It works like a dream, so he'll give you a demo on that. And then we have Henry, ZS6 Mike Charlie, who's also been up to some decent mischief in his shack, so he can show us all about that, his activities. Been quite busy, I see. And then hello to Bert, Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta. And then we have, there's Ed. Ed's on. He's going to talk about line battery packs, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. As usual, we just wish to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite. We wish to thank AMSAT DL for arranging all this and getting it going, and the amount of fun that the radio amateurs have had via QO-100 is just unbelievable the last 2 years. And we wish to thank AMSAT UK for their valued input, including the lovely wideband spectrum monitor we have, and also the chats box. And then, of course, we want to thank BATC, the British Amateur Television Club. If there's anyone wishing to partake and participate in amateur radio television or DATV, digital amateur TV, like we're doing today, it would be highly suggested that you become a member of the BATC, because in one site you have all the info, all the help to be able to come onto this mode. Right, I just want to see if Frank didn't answer. He hasn't answered yet. So, Leon, I will pass it to you, sir, if you could start getting your motors running. And let's hear what your latest week's involvements have been. ZS1MM to take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Okay, Gary, ZS6 Yankee India and the group, ZS1MM saying hello to everybody, morning, afternoon and evening. Not that we have the faraway stations today. We have a good morning there to Ed. I think he said Ed is here. Okay, no news from this side really, apart from playing with this new little camera. Forgotten the name now, but anyway. Gary, I've tried everything. It does not save the settings. I've now manually set it up. I can just show you. That's what it is now. It still looks different to the Canon, but it's closer to the Canon now than what it was. It's got a softer picture, but yes, I'm very, very happy with it. And the only problem is once you've shut down, you lose all your settings. The zoom is gone, the pan and tilt, it's all gone. At least it remembers the 16:9. That it remembers. But that's all. Okay, back to the Canon. Right. So yes, we've had a quick chat with Tom earlier today and Gary. So right, Tom, I give it to you. I don't know anything about what you're doing there. It's all computer jargon and it looks very fancy, but I don't work with networks and goeters like that. So I'll stay away from that for now. So over to you, ZR6 Tango Golf and the group ZS1MM.
Let's try that again. Thanks, Leon. ZS1 Mike, ZR6 Tango Golf. Let's try that again. Well, let's see if they... We're not doing anything complicated with the networks. But hello to everybody on the net today and everybody watching from wherever you may be watching today. Good to see everybody. And busy week on this side, mostly work stuff. But I did manage to, well, I mentioned last week that I've got some bits and pieces that were on its way from the BATC, and I have received another mini tuner and most of the bits and pieces to put together a winter heel. Still waiting for a few parts from DigiKey to finish up the winter heel, but in the meanwhile I've built up the second mini tuner, and I've put together a ride receiver. For those of you that don't know what a ride receiver is, it essentially takes a mini tuner, pairs it to a Raspberry Pi, and turns it into a little set top box that you can put next to your TV. So what I've done is I've actually installed a little, let me see if I can show you, a little TV there in the shack, and there's a delayed me, and that's all being run from a Raspberry Pi with a extra mini tuner, which works quite well. The only downside while I was building it is that the right box essentially provisions for that you build a little infrared receiver that goes with it, and then you can program pretty much any infrared remote you have to control it. I had two problems there. One was I didn't have the right hardware for the receiver side. Easy enough to get, but I wanted to get things up and running. And then two, your typical remote, it's got, while this can work and it can be set up, it's got a crap load of buttons, which half of them won't have a function on the right receiver and that. So I decided to, while I was busy playing with the Android development anyways, I decided to make a little app. I don't know if you can see there clearly, which is essentially a remote control app. I've got it here, I can actually show it on screen. Let's see if that works, yeah. So that shows the little remote control that you would see on your screen on the Android phone, and every button is equivalent to a function in the ride. So you can set your, change the volume, type in frequencies, toggle the on-screen display, change channels, volume, it's got menu, and it's even got a little arrow setup so that you can basically traverse through the menu. So I can give you a small little demo. And obviously it doesn't show the details on that screen too much, but you'll see if I press the menu button, there the menu comes up. It doesn't show it too clear. I'll prepare something better for next time, but you get the idea. Press the menu button again. It's unmuted there. There you hear the delayed voice of me. And we can toggle the on-screen. Where's the on-screen button? Yeah, there. And then it shows the on-screen stuff. Okay, it's not very clear there. Sorry about that. But you get the idea. So essentially a nice little remote control directly from your cell phone. And the one I'm showing, it actually works on the PC as well. I don't know if there's any interest in that, but I can release that as well. That's what I've been playing with, putting it together. A few people have already started playing with it, and it seems to be working just well. Not not a big project as the Longman client, but a small little convenience project rather. On the Longman client side, I've done quite a few more improvements there, at least a new version this week, basically having all the functionality that I showed off last week. Let's see if I can quickly pull it up here. I can show you guys, and because I've got 2 mini tuners now, I can actually, don't have to show myself. But there's the one there, so there we can see who's all on there at the moment. I think last time I showed the call signs that's showing at the bottom. It now also has provision for setting between the 2 different ports. So you know the mini tuner's got 2 different ports, so you can control that as well. And you can also enable the LNB power, the horizontal polarization. The settings have also been expanded a bit more. Longman now also has the option to receive from the IP that it needs to stream to from the Longman client. So what that means is previously you would have to change the IP every time you want to stream from a new client. Now the client will tell Longman which IP to stream to. So I can have this on my laptop, on my PC, any computer, and it will basically change the stream to the right one. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing with there. Apart from that, nothing much more. I'm hoping to have the winter hill going by next week, and then we can really start playing with some fun things in the client. I think the client would work pretty nicely with the winter hill in receiving all 4 streams and showing that. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's it for me. Let's see who's next on the list. Henry. So Henry, I'm going to pass it over there to you, and I hope everybody's doing well. It's ZS6MC here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Right. Great, Tom. Thank you very much for that. It's very interesting indeed. And the one thing that would be that I was thinking about while you were talking, and I'm sure you've already, or it's already on your plans, is that when we shoot over the beacon level, that there's some kind of indicator that we've gone over the beacon. That's really very nice. But I don't suppose it's important. Ever so now and again, I do see some of the guys telling other guys that please, reduce your power and all those kind of things, which I find fascinating because I don't think I can actually go over the beacon with my power. Anyway, that's part of the fun. Right. Yes, I've had a fun week to a certain degree, besides working quite busily. I wanted to understand more about Tom's Longman client, especially how the various IP addresses fit together. And I was looking at using different computers. I also went as far as, and this is with Tom's help and his recommendation, I downloaded something called Dataplicity, which allows me now, I can actually go and sit at a coffee shop somewhere, and I can actually link into my mini tuner and via the Pi, which is the little microcontroller, and I can actually look at see what's going on, on the satellite. So I found it's like, if I can give an example, if I was in the factory with Gary, I could possibly have a look and see what's going on with my mini tuner over here in my shack, 100 kilometers away. So anyway, that is what I've been doing, and I found this Dataplicity excellent, really. The only disadvantage is it's after you can set up one microcontroller onto it, and then if you want to do more, you pay per microcontroller, if I can call it that, Raspberry Pi. As you go along, you will pay per connection. So I don't see it's only a small amount, but it's really worthwhile, especially if you've got 2 or 3 computers situated in different places. That really is very nice. So that was a nice little experiment for me, and it got my brain going. And then the second thing is I decided, and I know Martin G4FKK did it as well. He loaded Longman's client onto a Raspberry Pi 1. I don't know if mine is also a Raspberry Pi 1. Mine's known as a Model B version 2. It's got 512 megabytes of RAM on it, and unfortunately, it's not enough. And this poor thing was working so hard, it was actually reaching 50 degrees C temperature-wise on its little microprocessor. So, yeah, totally overdriving the thing. So then I just went back to the Raspberry Pi 3B, and that really works very, very well. It's very fast, and it is quite easy to control. Right, so the other thing that I'm doing at the present moment is I'm resurrecting I hope you can see it. It is a Hewlett Packard 5305B, which is a 1.3 gigahertz frequency counter. So I'm trying to get it done. Unfortunately, the little grub screws on here are stripped. And to this, I don't know how to get it out, because I think those little grub screws are stainless steel, so you can't, it's really difficult to drill them out. I've put it into a QD40, which is a oil, to see if the grub screws could loosen, but they didn't. And in fact, they stripped. So there's absolutely nothing I can do. There must be another way I can get them off. And I really don't know how. I need to go to the experts. Maybe somebody here on the net can give me some advice with regards to that. Yes, and then yes, like everybody else, we've got our little eagle eyes up and running. I never checked to see, Leon, that's a good point. I actually never checked to see if it loses its settings. You can't, in fact, that you can't save the settings. I never checked that, Leon. So maybe that's something I should do and just have a look and see if I can sort that out, see what's going on there. But anyway, that's what I've been busy with. I'm really trying to understand how the programming works and so on. As I said to my friends, you know, coming into the programming world is different because I've always been in the hardware world. So now I'm coming into software, and that's really getting my brain going. And I quite enjoy it. I can spend hours doing it. Even though I'm going nowhere in the process, I can spend hours doing it just to see what the result will be. It's quite, how do you say, it's quite rewarding once you get something to work. It really is very rewarding, and it's instantaneous. It either works or it doesn't, and that's what's nice about it. So I suppose I'm one of the young guys, you know, instant gratification. Anyway, that's enough from me. And yes, Tom, excellent stuff. Really, the work that you're doing there is fantastic. I don't have a ride, but if I did have a ride, I certainly would want to use what you have developed there. The next step for me is a winter hill. So all I need is somebody must just tell me on the net, you know, how many of those serrets do you go for? Do you go to, how many does it take? I think it can take up to 4. But how many do you actually need? So that is my next, that would be my next question. So thank you very much, guys. That was a long over, 6 minutes, and I really appreciate it. And nice to see you on, Bert, with us. PA3AOD and the net. This is ZS6MC.
Okay, now, good evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. Okay, let's let's see what we have here. Yeah, first about Leon with the camera. In my opinion, the second camera, you would switched over back to the Canon, but in my opinion, the other one was better. Eh? The other one you can see every hair, and also see your face. Eh? You can see how old you are, or young. Sorry, how young you are. Eh? The other one is a little bit more red. Eh? But yeah, but that's only my opinion, Leon. Eh? About stuff from Tom, ZR6TG. Henry is also asked to give me the answer. One of my questions was the version 1 Raspberry Pi, is that also working? But it's difficult at the moment to get the Raspberry Pi 4, and I got a couple of here old ones are ones, but probably that's not functioning very well. So, okay, we'll wait when there will be some new Raspberry Pis be available. It's very difficult, or let's say hard to get head on one of the Raspberry Pis. And other question for Tom about is Android software. Is it also possible to change a little bit on frequency, a kind of scan function? I'm using it as also for contests on 2 meter and 70 centimeter and higher. But sometimes, not all the people are on the same frequency. Sometimes they are maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 kilowatts away from the center. And it would be handy if there is some kind of an AFC to wipe in exact on the frequency, or maybe some buttons that I can put plus, 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 minus, minus the frequency. Yeah? I hope you understand what I mean, Tom. Eh? That would be then great. Eh? Yeah, I got here the right receiver. I got here one right receiver, and the advanced receiver, or also called the Winterhill receiver. Got both over here. In my Winterhill, there is option for 2 from these receivers, from the NIM of NMI. Anyway, those receiver cans. Got 2 of them in. And so you can receive 4 stations on the same moment. But it's very difficult to get to listen to 4 stations. You can watch them, there's not a real problem anyway for me. But to listen to 4 stations, that's impossible for me anyway. For the rest of the week, I played a little bit with SDR console for narrowband. It's not working on the moment as I would like that it should be working. For the rest, as you can see on the main picture, I've been busy on the left side. You can see there is a punt there. I'm busy with the punt. That's the deepest point is approximately 1.3 meters, and it's containing around 11,000 liters of water. So there are some fish in, and frogs and other strange animals. But as you can see, the rest of the car has to be reshaped. But anyway, the pump is watertight, and let's see what that happens in the future. Also on the right side, you can see a little part of my tower. Maybe I can show a little bit more tower. Let's see if that works. No, that's not going on. Okay, so that's part of the tower. It's around 21 meters in height. Okay, that's far as from my side. Microphone to South America, to Ed, Poppy Yankee 2, Rick and Nancy, the group from Poppy.
just stand by so that you can get your stuff reset there, Ed. Looks very interesting, especially that heatsink. So we'll stand by for you to do what you need to. ZS6YI and the group standing by for Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. Keep the net moving. We'll allow Ed a better opportunity to sort himself out there. Murphy playing havoc in the southern hemisphere, but luckily on a different continent for a change. Old Murphy's been diving around our part of the world too much lately. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November will wait for you. In the meantime, yeah, no audio, but we'll get audio in a minute there, Ed, because we'd like to see what he's got to say about the Lion battery packs. Yeah, I was hoping Frank would come up, but Frank did say, please excuse him, he's not on today. And then G0 Mike Juliet Whiskey's at a rally, enjoying himself. I wouldn't mind being able to do rallies ourselves here. I see, of course, it's Dayton weekend, so a lot of fun's been had there. And I'm sure many guys are also watching some of the final videos out of Dayton, which has so far been quite interesting. But just want to see, Mike sent me a message just now. Just trying to get it, actually. Oh, dear. Where is it? These things go so fast. There's so many messages that before you know where you are, you don't know where you are. But, yeah, he said, hi, Gary, at a radio rally today, Hamfest, so won't be on the net. That's Mike, G0MJW. So they could have done well with Tom's machine, Tom's program, especially once he's got the Android done. You whip out your cell phone, you can still keep in contact with the net. That's going to be first class. All right, I've waffled along just to keep the thing going. Let's see if our dear friend Ed's back. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Okay. Fantastic, Gary. Thank you very much for that. I apologize, audio problems. I don't know. Yeah, it's those OBS mysteries. I just had to close and reopen it. So let's see for the little video, because all the fun is with the audio. It's failing. The audio is still.
Okay, Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, ZS6YI. I think if you look at your audio bit rate, it's too high, and so you're hooking. Maybe you can just go back. I don't know if you're using F1 EJP, but if you are, just go and look at your audio bit rate. It's very high. I would drop it down to 64, and that should 64 kilobits per second, and then you should be fine, because you had a 0 null packets and your audio bit rate was like 175 or something. And I think that's causing it. But yeah, we got the idea with the heatsink and the flame, obviously changing frequency as the temperature rises. But yeah, we have quite a number of viewers on YouTube. So we're going to call you back again once you've got your microphone audio sorted, Ed, and then perhaps you can give us more info on what you've been doing. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, to give you an opportunity to get your things straightened, I'm going to pass it back to Leon, and then Leon, after you, would you try and bring Ed back in, because we're dying to hear what he wants to tell us about the Lion battery packs. And then Ed, if it all works, you pass it to Tom, and then Tom to Henry, and Henry to Bert again. So ZS1 Mike to take it, to give old man Ed a proper opportunity to reset his things from ZS6 Yankee India.
Okay, Gary, ZS6YI in the group, ZS1 Mike returning. Hang on, Ed prefers that camera. This one is softer, it's more like a portrait camera. Anyway, yes, that's an iron speaker, eh? It's very clear. That sparking Corona speaker that you showed there. Yeah, I think Gary is right with your audio rate. That's maybe just a touch too high, but we're very keen to see about the batteries. I've been very, very interested in batteries since my early childhood. I used to open up all sorts of batteries, pen lights, D-size, any type of battery I could lay my hands on. I broke them open, and I could tell you exactly, ever ready, pen light, it's got that in it, it's got little bits of string inside, and that and that and that, and the carbon rod. And then as a Rayovac looked like this, and all the different brands. I know you had the Japanese ones, Fuji Denki and Hitachi and all those ones. I opened them all. And later, when the alkalines came, they haven't got a carbon rod anymore. They've got a nail going down the center, which is actually negative. And the case is positive. Just the other way around from the carbon zincs. And yeah. Anyway, and also the secondary cells, the NiCads, the wet knife cells, and all those. Lithium ions I've opened, and lithium polymers I've opened, because I use them a lot in the model aeroplanes. So yes, we're very keen to see what you have to say about the batteries there, Ed. Tom, okay, this new remote thing of yours, that's now very interesting. But do you use the infrared radiation from the phone, or how do you communicate to the Raspberry Pi thing? They normally do it in infrared. You didn't say how the thing outputs the buttons. You can perhaps just let us know. But okay, Ed, in case you have sorted out or reset up your audio, I'm going to give it back to you now, and we see how it goes. Papa Yellow 2 Romeo November, ZS1 Mike in the group is listening out for you.
You are right. definitely Murphy is around. I started transmission, another slot. Thank you, Leon. Yeah, I believe it's okay now. I decreased the audio bit rate, and I also decreased the error correction. I put 3.4, so I have enough no packets. Thank you very much, everybody. Apologize for all the troubles. Just say hello to Gary. Nice to see you again. Leon, Bert, Harry, and Tom. Short net today, but very interesting as always. Leon, I agree with Bert regarding this other camera, the other one other than Canon. It seems that camera has an interesting effect. It puts a kind of makeup on you. You really look younger. Your teeth look incredible white, and you have a beautiful hair with this new camera. So it's not kind of a blur effect or anything, but it's different. It's more smooth, and I like it. Other than Canon, it seems Canon has obviously more resolution, and you know, it shows everything, and this one shows only the good things. Tom, let me tell you, very interesting all the development you're doing. I don't have anything from BATC. Hopefully someday I'm gonna get. I'm a member of BATC, but I still didn't get a chance to get those very interesting boards. But hope to get some soon, and for sure I'm gonna test it, the remote control and everything. Very interesting. Also, I should say that I'm really impressed with your shock. It looks like, you know, very sophisticated shock. It seems a lab, a very sophisticated lab. It's very nice. And Tom, I like your jacket. Seems there is also kind of cold. Here we are getting some cold. Not at this time. It's 19 degrees, very nice. But early in the morning. And at night, temperature is only 1 digit here. So it's getting very cold, Henry, but nice to see you. And Bert, I like your backyard. Your tower is shining, man. It looks a beautiful tower. And it seems that you have a very nice day there. Okay, guys, yeah, I have some, I'm experimenting with some batteries pack. I'm using those kind of lithium-ion battery cells. That's the pack I assemble. Let me switch to the other. Yeah, that's the pack I have assembled as soon as I get it. Yeah. So as you can see, it's there is all. I'm just learning about those packs, and there is some nomenclature that they say, but this is a 6S pack. Why this is a 6S? Because it has 6 sets of batteries. So these 3 cells make 1S. Okay, so they are in parallel. So they make 1S. So 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, and 6S. It has a total of 24 volts, and the capacity, each cell here is about 3.2 amps, 3,200 milliamps. So the final capacity that it gives me is about 10 amps. This is a BMS control board that you use for controlling the charge, some short circuit protection, overcharge protection. It's let me see if I have. Oh boy, it should be appearing, but the things never never work when you BMS here. That's what the one. Yeah, right here. Yeah. So this is the BMS control board. This is especially designed for the 6S set. When you see just one battery, obviously you can put as much batteries you want, depending on the capacity you are looking for. So you can put like, in my case, I have 3. So in this S here, I have 3 batteries in parallel, okay? So the final voltage that I am gonna get is 24 volts. It's extremely recommended that you use this kind of control board, BMS. I think it stands for Battery Management System. You know, to avoid any type of damage on the batteries and risk of fire, etc. So let me switch to the. As you can see, you can find those type of this is nickel stripes. So through these nickel stripes, you can do the arrangement, you know, the series and parallel arrangement, and that's the result for the pack. Let me show you. Yeah, here's the pack. You know, already I put some tape on that, and it's extremely, it's much lighter than these regular lead acid batteries. This is heavy. I think this is about almost more than 2 kilos each one. So to get 24 volts, each one is 12 volts. So to get 24 volts, I need 2 of them. And believe it or not, I will get, well, this is specified 9 amps. So I'll get 9 amps from those 2 batteries, you know, with, I don't know, maybe 5 kilos. And I have 10 amps with this one that is probably half kilo, 600 grams probably. It's much smaller and much lightweight. Switch again my camera. And you know, all these nickel stripes you can find online. You can buy online. Also, the black support that holds the batteries you can also buy online. It's not. Someone asked me if it was 3D printed. No, you can find it. It's just you know, a plastic piece that you can buy depending on as much cells you wanna use. Basically, I think that's it. It's so like I said, it's 10 amps hour. It depends. This is I'm gonna put in a box to make a portable station. So it's 10 amps hour, and those usual questions. Oh, how long does it last? I mean, it's 10 amps hour. I mean, if you consume 2 amps, you're gonna get 5 hours of operation. So it depends on the consumption. All right, I think that's it, guys. So let me pass now to our friend Gary. I think no, that was Leon. Then it was me. I think it's Bert now. No, or Tom. I think it's Tom. Tom, Zulu Radio 6 Tango, go to you. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. Over to you, Tom.
Thanks there, Papa Yankee 2, Romeo November, Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. Very interesting, and I had a bit of a chuckle because I'm actually busy with a very similar thing, which you might find interesting. Okay, obviously yours is done. I haven't progressed much further. Same battery type setup. Mine's actually 3D printed. I 3D printed the frames, and then similar BMS, and then I still need to put the nickel strips on. So very similar. Also, I want to put up a little remote beacon. So I'm going to be testing it with this battery and a little solar panel. But that's still a work in progress. But what you might find interesting is, before I started 3D printing it, when I started looking at the battery stuff, I actually found these. I don't know if you can really make it out there. Can't remember. It's been a while since I got them. But it's the same concept, except that they all piece together. So depending on the size of your battery, you can make different sizes. And then it's got the screws on top, and instead of soldering on the nickel strips, it's got these little plates that you basically just screw on there to have a bit more portable effect there. But anyways, yeah, so very similar. I'm still busy with mine, so mine isn't working yet. Okay, no, interesting day today. Lots of interesting stuff today. Leon, yeah, I prefer your Canon, to be honest. The other one, it looks a bit too soft almost. So from the way I'm receiving you, the Canon seems perfect. Okay, so in terms of the ride remote control, so no, it's not using the infrared, specifically because I haven't built anything infrared on the ride, and also my phone doesn't do infrared. So it actually connects via the network. You basically specify the ride receiver is on my network, and then the app connects over the network as well. So you just put in the IP address. I'll actually show you there. Where's the ride remote? So if I put it up there, like so, put on the settings button, you basically just choose the IP address and the port, and the ride's already listening to it. So then it sends the commands there. Okay, a couple of questions from you. Firstly, to install it, you'll see the link that I posted in the chat. It gives an APK file. You can basically just get that APK on your phone. I like email it to myself or send it to a chat or something. And then if you try to open up the file, your phone's most likely going to complain about it being from an unknown source. So you might just need to enable permission for that. I am going to put it on the Google Play Store. I still just need to go through all the steps there. So there's still a bit of tinkering that needs to be done there and clean up. But you should be able to install it directly from the APK. Just get it onto a phone, either via SD card or, like I say, I emailed myself the file and just open it up on there. So it depends a lot on your setup there. The scanning idea is a good idea, especially having a plus and a minus so that you can fine-tune the frequencies there. I've put it on the list. I can definitely look into that, add something like that. For starters, I just kept it to the basic events. So all the events, the remote events that the ride receiver can receive, it's got all those in there. But I can also, they also make provision for setting direct frequencies, similar to how QuickTune would send it to ride. So I can put something like that in there with the plus and minus, so we can fiddle a bit. I also want to put the spectrum in there, just to make it easier to select. Okay, not so much for your local stuff, but for the satellite use. But yeah, your ride receiver and your winter reel there is looking very nice. Mine is still open, no enclosures or anything yet. So I still need to sort that out there. What else? Okay, yeah, the pond building there looks very nice. You've got a nice little garden going there, and the tower. I'm jealous. It looks very good. In terms of the Longmont, it does work on the PY1. Henry's been playing with it there. Martin, G4FKK also had it running on the PY1, and even Benno has been playing with it on a Raspberry Pi Zero. So in theory, it can go that low. It just gets a bit hot. I would say minimum without things overheating, a Raspberry Pi 2 would be perfect, or anything up from there. I want to test the new Raspberry Pi Zero 2. I think that one's going to work brilliantly as well. But yeah, you're right. Raspberry Pis are difficult to get. So if you have anything bigger than a Pi 1, then that client should work fine. It's nice because the Longman itself doesn't do any decoding. It just receives it all from a tuner. So all the decoding happens on the client side on your PC. So it doesn't need too much processing power. And then I'm glad you came right with that dataplicity. It's very cool. I enjoy it. I use it a lot for a lot of my projects as well. And it works very well. For the winter reel, for what you need from the BATC is essentially, that's the PCB. Oh, let me just take away the remote. That's essentially the PCB. And you can either have one setup in there, or I've got two here, similar to Bert setup. If you have two setups, then you can essentially receive 4 different channels at the same time, 4 different streams. But like Bert said, watching 4 of them is tricky at best. The reason I like the winter reel though is I want to be able to dedicate one channel that is scanning for call signs, for example, and another channel that does something else, and then 1 or 2 to be watching on it. So it just opens up a bit more possibilities, I think, of what we can do. Let's see, what did I miss here? Ed, thank you very much. I don't know about a very technical shack, but I actually started reorganizing and cleaning up a bit yesterday. And it's still a bit messy and some cables need to be cleaned up. I'm trying to fool myself that I just need to get it into a certain way and then I won't need to change it again. And I'm fairly certain 6 months ago I had that same conversation where I wanted to get it all in a certain way and I will never need to change it again. So we'll see how it goes. And then temperature-wise, it's been quite cold here, at least for South African standards. At night, last night we hit 4 degrees, 5 degrees, and now it's about 12 degrees outside, which isn't too bad, but it starts getting cold quite early in the evening. So I would say give it another hour and then we're going to drop into single digits as well. So it has not been fun. I miss my summer. Okay, I think hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Let's see, Leon, Henry, Bert, Ed. Okay, I think that's everybody. Gary, I see on the weekly schedule that Nigel has added his name on there as well, so we should maybe give him somewhere a gap there as well. Okay, next on the list is Henry. Henry, going to pass it to you. Thanks for the great net, guys, and I hope everybody's got a wonderful weekend. And if I missed anything, I do apologize. ZS6MC, to take it from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom, for that. Great stuff, and I think you covered all the bases. There's not much for me to add. Let me just check here something. I'm about to be load shedded in a few minutes, but just to mention to Leon, nice to see you, Leon. It's great, and yes, it's the camera does make you look young. Sort of gives you the sheen, But in any case, the thing that I wanted to tell you, Leon, and you most probably know it already. There's an apply button on that little camera, and I tested it just now, and it seemed to have kept the settings. So all I did was I just played with the zoom setting and then applied it, and then I went out of OBS and came back in again, and it still kept it. So I don't know, maybe there's something on that camera that's different. Yeah. Bert, the pool, it's as big as a swimming pool there, man. What you mean pond? And I like the way you say all kinds of funny things in there. Yeah. In South Africa, if you leave your pool like that, boy, you do get some funny things coming in there. So you just got to be very, very careful. So yeah, and also a very, very nice tower. I actually saw it this week. I think you had a picture up, and I actually saw that you had covers over the motors. So you actually have physical motors that raise your tower and lower your tower. So I mean, you've got it really well sorted with regards to automation. So that's really very nice indeed, Bert. Yeah, I wish I had something like that. And I think you mentioned 21 meters. That's very, very tall. Yeah, on average, we run about 11, 12 meters here in SA, except if you, like Gary, I think he's also got something like 21 meters, if not higher. But it's only something we can aspire to, especially as guys who live in apartment complexes. We can only look at it from afar, Bert. So very nice indeed. Excellent presentation there, Ed. Really very nice indeed. And yeah, amazing what you can do with batteries and the size of batteries these days. It's just phenomenal. And I think battery technology is moving at the rate of knots. I think the guys from Tesla, and I think the other company is Panasonic, that are really, really leading the way with regards to battery technology. So, yeah, and I think they're even using capacitors these days, or trying to use them. So very nice indeed, and thank you very much for everything today, Gary. Thanks for running the net as always, very, very slick and very well done. And yes, and to everybody else that's listening on the net today, I hope we can see you on here one of these days with us. I don't think there's anything else I can add, and really I do apologize if I've forgotten anybody. I don't think I have. Tom, I did. Tom, excellent stuff. I think the work that you're doing there is phenomenal, and it really is very, very nice indeed. And thanks for enlightening me regarding the Winter Hill. I see it's 2 serets. Okay, so that's something that I just have to consider. I've already been looking on the BATC website at it, so in due course I'll touch base with you, especially with regards to the components from DigiKey. Okay, thanks guys. I won't be coming back. I think I am going to be load shedded in a few minutes time. So I'll listen as far as I can, and really I found it extremely interesting, and thank you once again to everybody for your contributions. Really great stuff. So it's over to you now, Bert. I hope you're around, and then I think after that it goes to Gary again, or I'm not sure. Gary will say who's next in line after that. So good afternoon, everyone. Have a great time, and good morning to you there, Ed. Nice to see you on again today. Really good. So cheers, all the best. 73. This is ZS6MC clear, but I will be listening to the rest of the net until I cannot anymore. Okay, over to you, Bert. PA3AOD. This is ZS6MC.
See some pictures. Okay, yeah, that's what, oh yeah, the weather outside, yeah, that's perfect, yeah, it's around 21 degrees, so 21 or so degrees, so sun is shining, and yeah, in the sun, it's, for me anyway, too hot, yeah, and those animals, now we don't have funny, strange, dangerous animals over here in the Netherlands, so I'm not afraid of those little bugs we have over here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Thanks, Tom. I will give it a try later this afternoon. Send to myself the email. I downloaded it already. I just looked at it and downloaded it and send it to myself in an email and see what's happening with the telephone. Yeah, and that would be great, not only for me, but for more guys who are using a ride over here for terrestrial. And yeah, if that could be changing a little bit of the frequency or a scan function or whatever you want to call it, the plus or minus button, that would be great, eh? Yeah, and cleaning up the shack. Yeah, I can clean it up, but in 1 or 2 weeks, it's the same mess again, eh? Yeah, that's probably more guys, so, eh? And about batteries. Oh, well, let's see. Let's make a little bit bigger. No, what's this? I'm losing myself. Yeah, about the tower from my side. Yeah, and the tower is first and step our HF beam for 6 meter till 40 meters. And for the rest, it's 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and 23 centimeters. Eh? So VSF, USF, and SAF antennas. Eh? So, yeah, for the shortwave, it's not really necessary to have that high, but for yeah, the VSF, USF, and so on, yeah, it's great to have a little bit higher. Eh? Anyway, above the houses, trees, and all the stuff. Eh? About the batteries, you can also get in the flat model, not just in the pen light model or what do you call that, but also in the flat models. Eh? This is a 22 volts battery pack for a 6S and 4,200 milliamps. Eh? But be careful with the batteries, because this one is a good one, but you've got also another one. Let's see. Maybe you can see it. It's growing. And that's not good. These are the dangerous ones. Eh? You can blow up if you are, or catch a fire, or other nasty things. Eh? Yeah, and cuts also the power output, and of course to the balancer for checking the voltage. Eh? Oh, I changed the format, but not in the OSB. Eh? That was not handy from my side. Anyway, maybe you can see it clearly. Yeah? It's growing. It's going bigger, fatter. It's not as it should be. Yeah? But anyway, I'm using always these kinds of bags. It's a special protection case. In case it gets fire, it should protect everything. Yeah? And yeah, okay, that's all from me from this side. I pass it on then to Ed. That's the rule. That's the rule, the list. And otherwise, if Ed is not what? Oh, sorry. Was something happening over here? But anyway, it's for Ed, and it's Ed. Out of any words, Gary, you can pick it up. Papa Yankee 2, Radio Nancy, the group from Papa Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta.
Thank you, Bert. Very interesting. Yeah, those batteries that inflates and get, usually those are lithiopolymmeter. They call LiPo. If you don't charge them, if you leave them uncharged, they usually gonna make this effect. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Those lithium-ion cells, they usually don't do this. Those are usually, the notebooks and the laptops are equipped with those type of batteries. And I agree totally. You must be careful with them because they are high current and. If you do a lot of mess with them, they got on fire. They will not explode, but they got on fire. And very interesting the material you use in there. So guys, thank you very much for the net today. Great to see you all. I see that Nigo 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel put his name on the list. So before sending back to Gary, let's give opportunity to Nigo. I'm not sure if he's gonna join or just on the receiving mode. But anyways, Nigo, get ready. Go to you. 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel 7312 from Papa Yellow 2 Radio November. Greetings.
because I think Nigel's got a delay on his transmitter. So we shall see very quickly if my signal suddenly rises. I know Nigel's on, and then I'll pull out. Signal suddenly rises. Anyway, righto. In the meantime, I want to thank the net. Everyone quite interesting, and I had to laugh. Chris, Ocean November 1 Radio Charlie, he says, Leon's got a facelift camera. Yeah, Leon, it does reduce your age considerably as compared to the Canon. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, but it looks good. It's a good picture. It's a nice picture to look at. Nothing wrong with that. But we cannot see the worry lines and the mileage on the face, you see. But it wasn't meant for that. It was meant to go close-ups on projects that we're doing. But anyway, and I was going to say, Henry's got a point. You must apply it and then say, okay, then it normally keeps it. I tried mine. Mine keeps its info. I can actually just prove it. If I go do that, and I'll show you my meter. I'll just click it on. Yeah, sorry, wrong camera. There it is. And there we go. It's on. And so it's working. As I set it last time, I'll just remove it. So, yeah. Anyway, with that, guys, I think I'm going to close the net then. I wish to thank everybody indeed for coming up today. Thank you to you, Ed. Very interesting. And I had to chuckle a little bit at the, let me just get that page. I must read it, actually. I had to chuckle at Tom's link. I saw it the other day. And you can download his app, which works, of course, on the LAN connector to your ride, which I've got mine on the network, Leon. So it works beautifully, very fast. I had an issue downloading, but then I gave permissions. I had to jippo it a little bit to get it on, but it worked first shot flawlessly, and it's very useful. I far preferred it to the little remote control with the infrared, which I do use. It's this little gadget here. That's the one I use for the ride. It works very well, but the one Tom's got, every button's properly appropriated. You don't have spare buttons around. But in any case, Tom's download page, he says buymecoffee.com, but the other day it was buy me a beer. So I thought, well, we're going to have to buy a brewery the way this guy churns out programs and software items for DATV. So anyway, good. Right, with that, I'm going to throw the net in the air. Leon, if you want to take the next over, we wish everyone a happy week. We see you next week. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India, but in everyone on frequency, on all the viewers, there's 27 watching us on the stream. I hope the stream was okay, and we'll be seeing you guys next week. ZS1 Mike, maybe, and I'm throwing the hat in the air. ZS6YI, now QRT.
Okay, Gary, ZS6YI and the whole group, ZS1 Mike returning. Okay, yes, this portrait camera, I think I must switch off and get to the real one. That's better, that's the real camera. That's what I look like. Okay, yes, I didn't give any feedback on my previous over because I was still struggling with the camera. No, you guys must pull the plug. You must switch off the power, shut down the computer completely, zilch, move, Eskom, pull the pole fuse. Then you'll see that camera has lost its setting, except for the 16:9, that stays. It's no good just closing OBS, no, because the light on the camera is still on. It still says, yeah, there's still power on it. Okay, right, Tom, Okay, all noted that that thing works through the network. No, not interested, sorry. The moment you can give me a little flashing LED, I'll be very interested. Henry, okay, yeah, the camera, I've given my feedback. I've tried everything. I've applied it, saved it, closed the little lock like Gary said on OBS there. It's still closed. Nope. If you shut down the computer and you power it up again, settings are gone. No zoom and all that. Okay. Right, Henry. Yeah, that's the camera set. Okay. But yes, I love your pond. I love that. I've always dreamt of having one here at my place, much smaller, maybe 1 meter by 2 meters or something. You know, just big enough so that it will self-sustain. It mustn't be, you know, because it gets very hot here. It must be big enough to, you know, survive, and then have all sorts of little creatures in there. Because I love my microscopes. I've got lots of microscopes. And, you know, we have 3 dams in the closed vicinity here. There's one about maybe 1 kilometer from me. And right next to it's another dam. There's lots of creepy crawlies in there and fish. And then there's a big lake out there, Lake Murray. But that's maybe 12 k's from me. But I'd like to have my own little pond where I can brew my own hojas and things and put them under the microscope and maybe video them and put them on the satellite for you guys. You know, I love doing that. I've been doing since school day. You know, you get all these little creepy crawlies and cell division, and you can see all those things. It's very interesting. So I love your pond. And Ed is quite right. What you showed there was a lipo and not a lithium ion, Bert. Those lipos, yeah, they're notorious. When they start bulging, yeah, they're very finicky. You have to put them in storage. That's about 50% charge. You can't leave them empty. Then they self-destruct. You can't leave them fully charged also. Terrible. It's self-destruct. You have to leave them at about roughly 50% charge, and then I put them in the fridge. My fridge is full of lithium polymer batteries for my model aeroplanes. They have far higher current capability than the lithium ions. You can start a normal car with a small lithium polymer battery. They can easily give 100 amps, very easily. So that's the lipos. Then Ed. Yeah, your lithium ions, yes, those are fantastic cells. What I like about them, I also have prismatic ones of those. I call them my little white batteries. There was a shop, an eBay shop. They were in America. And I used to buy those batteries or cells, 150 at a time, a whole big bag full. But of course now you're not allowed to fly batteries. You can't buy batteries overseas anymore. That's a huge problem for us with the model aeroplanes, because now you have to go and buy them at the hobby shop, because they get a container full that comes via ship, via sea, because nobody wants to fly them. But those little white ones, they are fantastic. I put them in all my portable equipment, my radios and stuff, and you charge it, and you can leave it for up to 2 years. When you switch it on, it's still fully charged. The loss of power is negligible compared to nickel cadmiums and nickel metal hydrides. After 3 weeks, it's at half charge. But, Ed, you must be very careful. You're not supposed to solder on those cells. That's why they supply you with nickel strips. You're supposed to spot weld them, because the nickel spot welds very nicely. And the end caps, I think, of the cells are also nickel. I've built myself a little spot welder specifically for that, for making up battery packs of those lithium ion, those cylindrical cells. Yes, they're quite expensive here, the good ones, you know. They go for about 150 Rand, so what, that's about $10 a piece, those cells. You can buy ones. Let me just get one. You can put the microphone back on. You can buy them at the Chinese shop here. They've got three different kinds. They have this blue one, which says 8,800 milliamp hours, which of course is rubbish. It's not focusing there nicely. 8,800 milliamp hours. I mean, please. Then they have a red one, which I think says 4,000 something milliamp hours. And then they have these yellow ones, which says 12,000 milliamp hours. That's 12 amp hours in the same size cell. I mean, so yeah, I've tested them. They're supposed to have built-in battery managing things, but they don't. I've x-rayed them. I've charged them on my intelligent chargers that I use for the model aeroplanes. It tells you exactly how much it puts in, and then you put it on discharge, and it tells you exactly how much you get out of it. And I think this 12,000 milliamp hour one, I think I managed to get something like 3.5 amp hours out of that. But they can't deliver very high current. They're not like the laptop ones. The laptop ones are much better. Much better. And by the way, the Tesla, not the Tesla cars, the Toyota one uses the same cells as the laptops. That's what they use. The Prius. The Prius uses hundreds of those in their big battery packs. I think they run at about 400 or 500 volts. And they've also got them in series parallel configurations. The original ones, I don't know what the latest ones use. Maybe they've got some better cells now. But at that stage, this was the most popular cell on the market. Apparently, you get quite nice, big, blocky, prismatic ones nowadays, which the guys use in the solar systems. There they rate them at kilowatt hours, the battery banks. So anyway, okay, enough from me. I said cheers to everybody, and it was very nice. I think Henry is in load shedding. Our load shedding starts in an hour and 45 minutes from now. We're in load shedding again. We were there this morning, and yeah, it's coming up 6 o'clock. 6 till 8:15 about, I think. Or was it 8 to 10? Somewhere on the cell phone. Anyway, terrible. Okay, so the camera, my one at least, if you shut it down completely so that the light on the camera is dead, the PC is dead, and you come up again, it loses its memory. It's set up. Okay, that's it from me. So, Tom, if you want to take it, you are welcome. ZR6 Tango Golf for the group. ZS1MM saying cheerio before the... No, but load shedding is still some way away. I'll be listening for another round.
Okay, thanks there. ZS1 Mike Zulu Tango 6 Tango Golf. Okay. Wonder, it almost sounds like my audio is out of sync. Yeah, audio is out of sync. That's weird. Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I just, yeah, the guys you must really feel good after all those comments, Leon. En dan vat jou laag. But yeah, no, yeah, nothing more to add from my side. I thought I had something more to say, but I don't. But I'm going to close shop here as well. I don't know if we have load shedding today. Our municipality is not good at keeping a schedule, so it's we'll wait and see. Luckily, I've got the solar set up, so I probably won't notice if the load shedding kicks in. But yeah, great week to everybody. Keep well, and see you guys soon on the satellite. I'm going to hand it over to, who was next? Henry is gone. To Bert. Bert, if you're still there, you can take it. Otherwise, it's just throw it up in the air there. Papa Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta, Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good week.
And there is picture. Yeah, okay, thanks Tom. Yeah, nothing comment more. Indeed, that's LiPos. And as Leon said, for the model airplanes, that's the same for me. It's used for the model airplanes. And indeed, this pack can discharge rate at 147 amps. 147 amps. You can indeed can start your car. Maybe not a diesel, but a normal petrol car you can start on it. And these ones are 22.2 volts. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, about the ponds. Yeah, there are anyway there are creepy animals sometimes, but not dangerous one. Okay, that's all from this side. We'll say have a nice week, everybody, and probably see you next week then. Yeah, I pass it on to Ed if he wants to tell. Otherwise, it's over and out for anyway for me then. On Yankee 2, Radio Nancy, the group from Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta. Bye bye, everybody.
Okay, Bert. I hope maybe next Net you can show us your full tower. Very interested to see what do you have there. You mentioned about the what is the name of the antenna? That antenna that moves. Forgot the name, but you mentioned 6 meters up to 40 meters. I suggest to you to come to 6 meters because it's been great between Europe and South America. I hope to listen to South Africa on 6 meters. Never heard. Leon, QSL. Yeah, the way I did with the nickel strips is not the right. The spot soldering is the right way to go, but I don't have any tool to do that, so that's the reason I make regular soldering. But you're right, it's not the correct way to go with it, QSL about that. And they have those new cells. I mean, I'm not sure if it's bigger than the regular ones. Those ones are 21700. That's the model of those cells, 21700. Those goes up to, I don't know, 4,000 milliamps, I think. Yeah, 4,000 milliamps. But they are bigger. They are fatter. They are bigger than the regular 16.8 something. Yeah, the good ones are Samsung, LG, or Sony. Those are the brands that I suggest to go with: Samsung, LG, and Sony. Obviously, not the fake ones, because you know, the Chinese, they can print everything on this cap. But you know, if you get the original Samsungs, LG, or Sonys, you're gonna be in good shape. All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. I think I did a lot of transmission on this net today. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm monopolizing the net today. So thank you very much. Bye-bye. Great to see you. Have a great week. So back to you, Gary. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.